Fantasylands and Murder House discounts.
On this episode of Simply Necessary Conversations.
So the big theme park news is that there is a Princess Tiana ride coming to Walt Disney World. It opens on June 28th for any Disney adults or people that, want to experience something new. It's replacing Splash Mountain, and it's going to be like this whole little ride through the swamp, and you'll see all the characters and hear the music, and it's supposed to be really cute. And I'm obviously super excited for it as a self-identifying Disney adult and been growing up going there my whole life. But the question is Princess and the Frog is kind of an old movie. I don't know if they're planning on doing a second movie soon or whatever, but what ride would you want to see at any theme park based on any movie or TV show or whatever you want it to be based on that doesn't exist, or at least doesn't exist to our knowledge?
Yeah, well, the one that I want to see is the one that's opening, but we've already discussed I won't be seeing it because I cannot handle that drop.
I feel like you could do it for Princess Tiana. It's going to be so cute.
I can't handle the drop, and I'm so sad because I think it's going to be an adorable ride.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I would love to see, and this is an old cartoon, but people are still riding with it. Phineas and Ferb should have had a ride a long time ago. All of those things that they built, all the contraptions, all the stuff
the roller coaster, the main roller coaster.
They have literally built dozens and dozens of rides. So Disney needs to actually build a Phineas and Ferb ride.
Yeah.
My second choice for a ride that doesn't exist would be The Incredibles. Cause you know, I feel like I'm Mrs. Incredible.
They have the Pixar land area at Hollywood Studios where you can meet the Incredibles, but they don't have.
They need a ride. They need a Incredibles ride, and
or actually, there is one that I got on.
Where?
At Disneyland. You forgot because you didn't get on it because it was a roller coaster.
See,
and it was very cute.
Okay,
but I think there should be more of a slow ride at Disney World.
They usually give them something and give us something similar or different. Yeah. So since they got the roller coaster,
Incredicoaster. Yeah.
Let them have the Incredicoaster. Now give us a ride that we can ride there because they already got Secret Life of Pets, which was the cutest.
That is at Universal. You just completely switched brands.
Did I mix them? Well, anyway,
but that's still in California.
In California, they got Secret Life of Pets. That was a cute ride.
That was a very, very
that
cute
was the
ride.
cutest
That was
ride.
one of the best, slow, you just sit down and relax.
Yeah, they did a perfect job of immersing you in the
world.
story.
And even the queue was just as cute as the ride. To me. It was very
So we need Incredibles ride that has the vibe of Secret Life of Pets. Disney, y'all do what y'all do. Send some spies over there, check it out, revamp it, and do it.
Maybe if anybody has ever rode the Monsters Inc. ride at Disneyland, it could be something similar to that, but obviously updated technology because that ride is older. But just being in the world of the Incredibles and seeing them fight and it would be very fun.
I think that would be the Incredibles deserve it. As a matter of fact, I think the Incredibles, even though it's not one of the classic Disney cartoons. It's one of my favorites. It's at the top of the list of favorite cartoons.
And there's a second movie that's pretty recent.
The backstory and the building of it was really well done.
Where's my super?
I know
that's one of my favorite scenes from a cartoon movie.
And I love that Mrs. Incredible looks like average women. She's not
she's super
not
skinny.
She got some
she's
not necessarily the traditional hourglass shape. And she's a mom, so
and she's
absolutely.
Mrs. Incredible. She's an incredible mom.
She's
taking care of the
wife
kids
and mom,
and she's taking care of their little city and making sure there's no evil lurking about.
Yeah, so I think Disney, let's make that happen.
Okay, for me,
please and thank you,
because I've been riding for Disney since I was a little girl. These are all things from my childhood that I wish I could have experienced as a kid that I wish existed, but obviously I didn't. So in make believe Fantasyland world, I want there to be a Meet the Robinsons ride. Okay. Because I feel like the storyline behind that suits itself for a ride. You could go back in time, you can see the characters. It could be a roller coaster. It could be a simulated thrill ride. Yeah. They probably would never do this just because it's a movie from 2008 or something. But I think it would be a fun ride.
They could make a sequel. And
they could make a sequel for the new generation of children.
It was good enough. Yeah, they could make a sequel.
Because I don't even know how many kids of this generation even know if that movie exists or not.
I know about it.
But you remember the villain in the movie that was always tired and dreary and wore all black or whatever, his meme is always going around on social media of him as a kid when he was tired about that baseball. Everyone's always using that as like a meme of being like super tired, super drained. So it's still like relevant.
Still in the zeitgeist, as they say.
Yes. And the other one that I would do would be a Pixie Hollow ride. Because for those that don't remember,
I loved
the
it.
Pixie Hollow game had me in such a chokehold.
Me too.
As a child.
And you were the child, and I was the adult, and we were gathering seeds and like somebody crazy.
I wasn't a gamer, but girl, like I'm not into games like that. But it was such a cute, immersive game, and you got to talk to other people or whatever. Obviously, the ride wouldn't be like that.
And then my favorite of Pixie Hollow was picking your fairy name.
Oh yeah, you got
that was everything. It
doesn't even have to be, because I remember at one point there was like a Tinkerbell area at Disney World, but it doesn't even have to be like a super duper huge ride. It could be like the Beauty and the Beast experience at Magic Kingdom, where you like walk through and you pick your pixie name and you meet the fairies. And
is it just photos? What's the experience at Disney where you do walk through a queue, and as you go through, it's when you're going to take the pictures with
that doesn't exist anymore.
It does.
I don't think that exists anymore. I think they replaced that with Ariel.
Okay, because it used to be.
I think they replaced
that experience. But anyway, Pixie Hollow was, and having the different areas in Pixie Hollow where it was wintertime all the time in some places.
That would be such a cute.
It was so cute.
They could do it like how the Mickey and Minnie ride is at Hollywood Studios, where you're like going through the different areas. That's another good ride. That already exists, but that's a very good ride for anybody that hasn't gotten on that before.
It's on probably in the top 10.
Yeah, for it to be like a chill, not roller coaster, it keeps you.
It's very immersive. It's cute.
Like, whatever. But those would be my picks.
Yeah. And we are unpaid spokespeople. We do not work for the Disney organization. We're just fans.
If you would like to give me free tickets, we're
available to do appearances, but we are unpaid spokespeople at this point.
Yes, very true. We can even do a podcast at Disney World. Just say the word. And we can be going to Disney World like they do in the NFL.
And that's what I'm talking about.
But let me put y'all on to another fantasy world that you don't really care that much about. I'm trying to convert you into a super fan, as I'm a super fan. For those that don't know, me and Bridgerton are like best friends. I love that show so much. It's one of my favorite shows ever. I had a Bridgerton themed party in college. I was very serious about my love for Bridgerton. And now it's finally.
You should say you hosted a Bridgerton themed party, because I did all the work.
Untrue.
Yeah.
Untrue.
Yeah. I went and gathered lilies and stuff. I didn't even know why I was buying the stuff that I bought, but I did it.
You provided some of the food, but I maintained the
decor. Or all?
Trapor gets most of the credit, because she came up with the fire game that we played. That was very fun.
Well, I didn't stay for the party. I just worked the party, y'all, as usual. I didn't stay for the party.
You're acting like you didn't volunteer.
I was unpaid labor.
You volunteered. You were super excited because you wanted to throw a party and you didn't have a reason to, so you volunteered. But anyway, that is beside the point. The point is that Bridgerton is finally back after season 2. For those that watch the show or read the book, season 2, y'all already know Mr. Anthony Bridgerton, his love story arc, fabulous. Now we're on to Colin Bridgerton and like the friends to lovers with Colin and Penelope, and it's going to be so cute. And I already watched the first episode, and it comes out in 2 parts. Like one part comes out now, and then there's another part in June. And they even have like the special now where a couple is getting a Bridgerton themed wedding. So the special is going to be in between the 2 parts of the season. But for anybody that likes romance, it's very romantic. For anyone that likes period pieces, it's also very like inclusive, because it even though it's set in like, I'm guessing here, but like
probably 1800s.
Not 17. I don't think 17.
Maybe
1800s. All of the characters are like multiracial characters. Like they don't stick to like, oh, we're in Europe, so it's like all like white characters.
Well, it's fantasy land,
so like there's characters of every race. They talk about a lot. Like in season 2, there was a lot of talk about Indian culture because of the main characters. So it's very like they're not sticking completely to like the traditional storytelling, but it's still like a really good show.
And
it's not for kids though. Do not let little kids watch the show. It's for adults.
But I have not really gotten into it. I watched enough to know that I don't even know the character's name. I was mad at the dad that was mean to the little boy, like the one
the Duke's dad,
whoever he was. Yeah, that's who you're talking about. He was, I wanted to put hands on him. But anyway, I know that much. But I'm gonna get back into it. I've just been trying to catch up
you gotta
on
watch
my
the first season 1. I feel like you're not gonna like that much, just knowing who you are and what all that happens in the season. Season 1 was good. Like, it had my attention because I love things that are set in the past and like are fantasy.
I know, I love that
romance.
extra. The Queen
is very like Pride and Prejudice, very Downton Abbey. Like that is the vibe of the show.
Yeah.
But season 2 is my favorite. I love season 2.
I'm gonna have to get caught up. I do. I love that. What's the Queen? The
Queen Charlotte.
I like her.
She's very regal. She's very like a la-di-da.
Yeah. The actress that plays her, I feel like that's who she is in real life.
Yeah, like, she's very like
she is that. She is the queen in real life. And anytime I see a boss be like, I don't care. Like, I love that. So like, yeah. So I'm
shout out to Shonda Rhimes, also unpaid. But if you want a shout out, if you want me to be in the show, I gladly will. Yeah, I will be an extra. I will stand. I will be one of the maids in the show. Just give me an opportunity.
That's saying a lot. You willing to be the maid?
I will be a maid in Bridgerton just to say that I was in the show. Okay, I just need the platform.
Miss Rhimes will.
I just need the platform.
Accept any call that you want to make.
Any call. I'm available. For whatever.
Anyway.
So we said that we might go to Disney and hope to go to Disney like they do in the NFL. But somebody in the NFL is under fire because of what he said during a commencement speech. These commencement speeches be catching a lot of people in some mess. I don't know why people keep doing them and saying all these outlandish things. But the Chiefs, which everybody knows the Chiefs because of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, but the Chiefs kicker, who I guess finally wanted his time to shine, his light in the spotlight, Harrison Butker, I think is how you say his name. If I'm mispronouncing his name, I really don't care. I really don't, based on what he said in his speech. But he basically made this whole long speech. He went against women. He went against the LGBTQ plus community. He went against everybody, just going on and on and on about how a woman's goal. Now, considering we are talking about a graduation speech that would include both men and women, I'm assuming, he goes on and on about how women really don't need their degrees and they don't need jobs and they just need to be a wife and a mother, which to me is crazy. And then he quoted Taylor Swift incorrectly while he's talking about women not needing careers and being wives and mothers, when Taylor Swift is literally probably the most successful woman in this generation right now.
That in itself shows his lack of intelligence, because while you're giving a speech about how women don't need to do all of these things, have careers or whatever stuff, you quote a woman that is the epitome of women empowerment.
Exactly.
Like, how slow are you?
She would not agree with that.
Like, how slow are you? And then what it gave was, I think that I am some type of demigod and I want to be worshipped, and you women need to stay in your place.
Watching it was very dystopian, very like icky, like I felt like his wife was like locked in a cellar somewhere. Like, where's your wife at when you're saying, because there's no way that my man is about to get on a commencement stage and be like, women should be wives and mothers only. Don't have any success.
Let's give him credit, because obviously he picked the right one.
Apparently, if she's going along with all of this.
If he stood up there and said all of that, she must have been okay with it.
Even the NFL was kind of distancing themselves and saying, like, he doesn't represent us. He's just a kicker. Remember, y'all, he's just a kicker. He is not the NFL.
Clearly, the NFL didn't agree with him, because they highlighted Taylor every time she showed up at a game, so they were not trying to co-sign what he was saying. So that might be why he was mad. That might be why he was mad, because Taylor was taking too much attention away from him.
In the speech, he didn't even have the decency to say, quoting Taylor Swift. He said, quoting my teammate's girlfriend.
But that tells you his mindset. Taylor could not be her own person. She could not have her own autonomy. She had to be the mate of a male. Child, we don't have time for foolishness like that.
His mindset is so like 1800s. Like, I don't understand why he even, he was saying all of this from like a religious perspective, but I'm just like, why are you bringing God into this? Yeah. why are you trying to make it seem I'm
gonna do what
righteous.
He did. I'm gonna quote somebody that is in complete opposition of everything that I believe in, because I believe when LeBron was standing up for the Black Lives Matter movement, one of them Fox hosts over there told him to shut up and dribble. We're gonna tell this little dude, shut up and kick the ball. Shut up and kick, because you sound like a whole fool. Anyway.
I feel like he really just wanted, because when you say something like this on a broadcasted commencement. Like, you know.
And you know you put, but he was waiting on that. He'd been holding that in. He'd been wanting to say it. He's been wanting to force people to listen to him say that. Well, people were forced to listen to it, and now they know you're a whole fool.
But this whole mindset that as a woman, you just have to be a wife. And like, the only reason women went along with that years ago is because they didn't have a choice.
Well, I'm going to say this. I chose to be a work from home, and you notice I never say stay at home, because all moms stay at home. That's stupid to say. I chose to be a work from home mom and to educate my child at home and stuff, but I made that choice. I made that choice after I had my college degree. I made that choice after I had worked and contributed to the house that I helped buy. I made that choice, and then I did that for as long as I wanted to, and then I went back into the workforce. No shade to moms that make that choice. That is fine, but no man has a right to tell a woman that that's the only choice that she has. Yeah. And when women choose not to do that, you need to stay in your place and mind your business.
I don't want to say all, because there's some men that just want to take care of their women but still respect them as individuals or whatever. But I feel like most men that have the perspective that a woman should just be a wife and a mother want to control said woman. They're not doing that to make the wife's life more comfortable or easy. Or, I just want you to take care of the kids. And
because there's nothing easy about taking care of kids.
They want to be able to, I have the money. I have the say so. I tell you what to do because you don't have any means of. There's been several people in my life that I've seen have to go through divorces where they didn't have money because they didn't work. Yeah. And now they're screwed. Or even if it's not a divorce, well, your husband dies and now you don't have a degree, you don't have money, you don't have any way to take care of yourself.
There is nothing wrong with being a traditional wife if that's what you choose, but I advise you, make sure you have some means of supporting yourself. Make sure you have access to money that you have control over, that you do not subject yourself to someone else's power and control. Because if you do, and that person decides that they want to bounce, then you are on your own.
And even the concept of a traditional wife comes from a place of privilege, because the majority of people cannot afford to only have one person working in the household.
Yeah, that is, I hate to say it, but that is a white male privilege talking, because very few middle class people, especially middle class minorities, can have a situation where the wife doesn't work.
Most of the time, two people in the household need to work in order to be able to, especially in this economy. Child, please.
It makes me laugh that the same people that are telling women that they should stay home and they shouldn't work and they should do this, that, and the other thing, that, women don't need to work outside the home. Those are the same ones that probably had ancestors that were making people work for free. So we don't even want to hear from y'all. Shut up and kick the ball. Bro.
No, literally.
Shut up and kick the ball.
What are we really talking about here? Yeah. It's just the whole conversation is absurd, because you cannot afford a house if only one person is working, and the majority of circumstances.
Not and be a middle class person. Now, if you come from money, or you're somehow a billionaire, millionaire, whatever it may be, but most people.
And I don't now. I'm curious on how much he even makes as a kicker. Well, do you make enough to back up what you're talking about right now?
I'm sure he probably does, because most pro players, especially if he is the kicker for the main kicker for the team, he probably makes enough to support a family. But he I don't know. He just needed those few minutes to
because I think he said in the speech that his wife got her degree or whatever. So it's she just went to school for kicks and gigs and then just doesn't use her degree now.
And I'll say there's nothing wrong with getting a degree, even if you plan on playing that traditional role in a relationship. Getting a degree is not a bad thing, because, again, if the relationship ends, you need an education. If you're going to raise the kids, it would be nice if you're fairly intelligent and informed when you're raising the kids. So, degrees are not solely for the purpose of working. I personally love education. If I could go to school constantly, I would. Unfortunately, I can't.
I would not do that.
I would do that because I enjoy certain subjects. I wouldn't take subjects I didn't like, but I would study things that I like, because I have always loved learning. However, the average person usually goes to school to get a job. But there's nothing wrong with a person that is going to play that traditional role, having an education, because if they're raising the kids, they need to be fairly intelligent. They need to be informed.
I'm not saying that they don't need to be informed. I when I was younger, I thought the whole traditional wife thing was all cute and dandy. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm older, I'm just I want my own money.
Yeah. As someone that did it, it worked out okay in some aspects, and some aspects not. But I never, ever, ever surrendered my
dignity.
I never surrendered my self-respect. I never lost my autonomy when I was a work-from-home wife, because I don't care how many bills you pay. I'm educated and capable of working. You are not going to tell me what to do.
But you were in the position to be able to do that mainly because you knew if something didn't work out with him, you had support elsewhere.
But
a lot of people get in that situation where like their man is their only friend, their only family, their only hope.
Yeah,
and then they end up just being like locked in the situation where they can't get out of it because after a certain point, even having a college degree, if you haven't had a job.
Yeah, and let me say something else too. Just because you are not working outside the household and bringing in a check from the outside, there's things that you do that if you were working outside the household, you pay other people to do. And in my case, I managed the finances even though I was not earning the money. So I always knew where all the money was.
And that's another thing too. When women like have said or told me or whatever, have said how they don't know what their husbands do.
No, ma'am.
Like and I'm not talking like
no, ma'am.
They don't know how much money is in the bank, which you should know how much money is in the bank. But they don't know how much money is in the bank. They don't really know what their job is.
I worked with a lady one time that said she didn't really know what her husband did.
And I'm just like, you never visited him at work.
Working for the mob. I used to joke and tell her he must work for the mob because y'all keep getting them black cars. You don't know what he does. You don't know where he like. What are you talking about, ma'am? Like, what are you talking about?
And how do you marry somebody and you've never had like the conversation of like what their job is, what they do on the day to day? Like I would talk about my job a lot. No? Like, are we not talking about our jobs? It's just very weird to me.
It's weird to me,
too. Some people have situations set up in a way that that's never going to be the case for me.
No, you better know what he does because if whatever he's doing turns out to be something shady or sinister and you try to plead, I didn't know what he was doing, nobody's going to believe you.
It could be a situation like Risa Tisa with Legion.
Yes, you better find out.
Where she thinks that he's the, manager of this, that, and the third, and he really is homeless.
Yeah, like, you better be knowing what ask questions. Be informed.
Yeah.
And then everybody do whatever makes them happy. Thank you.
Well,
within the law and within morals.
Yeah.
Because
some people will take that and run with it and do leaps with it.
Let's don't be crazy.
But speaking of the economy and working to build a home and all of that, there was an instance where did we see this at? Was it The View? I think we saw it on The View. I'm pretty sure it was The View.
I don't know.
I think it was The View. I'm going to say it was The View. If it's not The View, I'm sorry. But there was this case where this man buys this house. And
it was The View. It was The View.
The man buys a house, and he gets a really, really, really good discount on the house. Mm-hmm. It's a great discount. Like, I'm talking like $100K off. And he gets the house. Then he meets this woman. They date. They get married. Woman moves into said house that he bought for this really, really, really good discount. Woman goes to store one day, whatever. I'm kind of making up the details. Woman goes to store one day, sees a neighbor. Neighbor's talking to said woman. Neighbor informs woman, oh, you know there was a murder-suicide in the house you live in, right? Woman is like,
she did not know.
No. So then woman moves out of the house because there was a murder-suicide in the house that she lives in.
Yeah.
My question is for this what is one of the word I'm looking for? I don't know. For Ask a Gemini, my question is, number one, would you stay in the house? Number two, would you have preferred he get the house for a really good discount and just never tell you? Or would you have preferred him to just not get the house and just pay the money, get a better house that didn't have murder inside of it?
Now, see, one of those questions I can easily answer. If he never tells me, I never know. Like I will. Know.
This is one instance where I want to live.
I think I would pick up on it.
I don't know.
Like I think I would be like Macaulay Culkin, the little boy. Like, what's the little boy?
Are you talking about the I See Dead People?
Yeah.
Boy?
What's the little boy's name?
I don't know.
Anyway, I think I'd have the sixth sense. I would know something was wrong. I don't know, but I definitely would prefer not to live in a house where any type of death, especially a tragic or I don't know. I wouldn't want to live in a house where I knew somebody died, especially murder, suicide.
In this case,
violent. I was looking for the word violent. I don't want to live in a house where a tragic or violent death happens.
I would want to mollywop my neighbor because why?
Why did you tell me?
Why would you ruin my peace and my money like that?
Yeah,
I was living in blissful ignorance.
Yeah,
and then here you go, yapping. Oh, you know there was a murder suicide in the house. What?
Yeah.
Because now I gotta move because I'm not staying in the house anymore.
From that point on, I couldn't rest at night. I would just feel
and I honestly, in that situation, I would not even be mad at my husband because you tried to do me a solid.
And he didn't tell her, and he probably knew not to tell her.
Yeah. You tried, but I got to go, babe. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Put the house on the market. Maybe don't tell the new people about the murder-suicide. Get your money back.
Is there a law? Like, I'm curious now, is there a law that you have to tell people things like that?
I don't think there would be a law just because, like, I feel like the only people that would care would be people that like believed in like an afterlife or like demons or energies or whatever. So I don't know if there's a law saying you have to disclose. Yeah. Unless like there was like a murderer next door or something, that I'm sure you would have to say.
I would not. I just feel like there would be just an unsettled presence in that house. And for people that don't believe in spirits, like I don't believe in ghosts, like, you know, in the sense of just random ghosts or whatever stuff. But I do believe that there's a spirit world. And since it was a murder, suicide, clearly there was some unsavory spirits involved. Every time I heard
a creak in that house, I'd be like, oh, I'm about to die.
Honey. And then I never saw The Shining, but I know the concept of The Shining. It's a Jack Nicholson movie. I never saw it because I don't do horror. You know, I don't do horror. That's the genre that I will not.
I watched Nightmare on Elm Street.
But I would just feel like my husband at any point in time could like get like acting like, no. So like, first of all, don't buy a house where a murder suicide happened. But if you did, and I moved in and was in love with the house, you better make sure nobody ever tells me. Make sure that I never on his part,
I don't care. They could have been selling that house for $20 and a side of Krispy Kreme hot donuts. I'm not. No. I don't care how good the deal is. If you tell me, not only was it like, I don't know what's worse, the murder or the suicide. I would not. Now, if somebody died of natural causes, like it was an older person's house.
Yeah, because that's a peaceful transition. I would still be apprehensive.
I would still not want to necessarily sleep in that room.
But if I heard the story and knew that it was, you know, kosher, everything was wonderful, and they, you know, they just went to meet Jesus, that's different. Because we all going to go meet Jesus somehow, at least from the Christian perspective. I don't want to insult anybody that's non-Christian, but from my belief system, we all going to pass away in some capacity. But I absolutely do not want to be in a house where there was a violent death.
I would just always be thinking about it. Like, it would be like one of the, because you know, in every like horror movie or creepy TV show or whatever, when somebody dies in a house, it like lingers. And like in Nightmare on Elm Street, like the whole community was cursed because them people killed that man. Like, I would just be very like, ugh.
I would like the follow up to this story. Like, she moved out. Did they stay together? Did they get a divorce? Like, what happened?
I think it would be stupid of her to be mad at her husband for not telling her, honestly. Because he probably was like, "What, you don't know what hurt you?"
Yeah, he may not have known that it meant that much to her. Like, he might not have known, especially if he bought the house prior to them getting together. Like, he might have been like, "I've been living here. I feel like
this is an example of why you have to sometimes have weird, random questions for your significant other.
And explain to them.
I am the queen of asking, like, what would you do in this situation, just so that I'm aware, so I can tell you how I feel in case this thing that probably will never ever happen to us in our entire lives happens.
There's things you have to tell, like you have to preemptively tell people, because like I have told people in the past, if something happens to my mother or something happens to you, whatever, that ain't nothing you just call and tell me. That ain't even nothing you tell me, period. You trick me into the car. You trick me into the car. You take me as close to Lakeland Regional or whatever the nearest hospital is, like have me right there, because when you tell me, I'm gonna need medical intervention. So don't tell me something crazy and then gotta get me somewhere where I can get assistance.
Both you and grandma this multiple times of do not call me and give me some outlandish news.
Yeah.
And like I remember one time, grandma I think called me. You called me. No, it was you. It was not grandma. It was you. You were the op that day. You called me and you were like, "Oh, Stacy got into a car accident." Just leads with, Stacy got into a car accident.
I didn't leave. No, he's fine.
No, you didn't.
Because that's usually what I do.
You did not. No,
I usually say, first of all,
no,
he's fine.
I think you were at work and you were just like doing other stuff, but you were like, "Yeah, Stacey got in a car accident." I was like,
"No, you know what? The reason I did that to you is because that was what was done to me." His mother-in-law, who I work with, said something to me about it, and I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And then
just because it happened to you, it had happened to me.
I was thrown off, so I wasn't on my game. Because normally I leave with, I'm telling you, because even when I can remember when I broke the news about me getting a divorce. When I called my aunt, I was like, "First of all, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm happy, whatever." And then I went into it. I usually give people
sometimes it depends on what it is, because sometimes there are instances where I do like to shock people just because I be over it.
Shock, yeah.
No. Even if it's a sad shock.
No.
If I'm like, for instance, one time I'm sitting around with my friends, they all talking about their pets. They going on and on and on about it. I'm like, "Oh, so and so, and then they look at me and I'm just like, My dog died.
So you were just being dramatic for no reason.
And it was funny just because I was over it by then. But, like, all of them were just like, what do we say? And I started laughing because I was like, yo, I'm fine.
How dare you use the passing of the puppy
I'm fine. I got over it. I was sad when it happened. It was like 3 years. Wait, yeah.
More, like 3
years
4.
Or almost 4 years ago at this point. I'm good. Because it's just like he's in puppy heaven. He's fine.
Gone over the rainbow
He lived a great life. But sometimes they just like to shock people because it catches them off guard and they're just like, what to do? It's dark humor.
Some stuff you can do that with. Other things, some things you need to like people need to know, and you gotta lead up to it. You can't, you know.
Or sometimes I will do that on purpose about some things if people are just like being in my business too much, or like it doesn't even have to be like a sad thing or whatever. But like I remember I didn't tell a lot of people that I got in a relationship, and then when I did, it was like very abrupt because I was just like my reasoning for doing it was just like, this is nobody's business other than mine. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, oh yeah, so and they were like,
"What are you talking about?"
Since when?
I did that when I was pregnant because I didn't hide it because I wasn't ashamed of it, but I didn't tell people because first I wanted to make sure I got past the safety zone, like because they say a lot of pregnancies will spontaneously end. Like I wanted to make sure I was kind of over that hump, so I was probably like 5 months going into 6 months of pregnancy before a lot of people knew, and then like my friends. Because when you get to be an adult, you can be friends with somebody forever and just don't see them. Like it's always phone conversations, whatever,
easily.
Which was the case. And so I can remember specifically my friend Karen. Hey, Karen, I know you watching, girl. When she called me one day, and we're just talking, and she was like, well, and she was the one that was always asking me, when are you going to have a baby? When are you going to have a baby? And so she was like, when are you going to, like, because that was the way she would end conversations at that time. Like, we talk, whatever, always end the conversation, when are you going to have a baby? And so and I was waiting on it. She's like, when are you going to have a baby? I was like, May. And she was like, what? Yeah, I did the same thing to my friend Ursula, who we were chatting on the phone, and she didn't bring it up, but we were talking, and I was like, well, yeah, when I have my baby in May, and she was like, hold on, wait a minute, did you just drop that in the conversation all casual? Like, and it was, that was fun.
Based on how you did it, that's how I plan to do it years from now. No time soon. But that's how I plan to do it, just because it's going to be fun. Because it's like, at the end of the day, it's nobody's business what's going on with me and my body. Yeah. So at the point that I decide to have kids, I'm going to be like, I might even do, because especially in this day and age when you can just FaceTime people, I might just FaceTime somebody and the baby sitting in my lap. Like,
look, I went to my cousin's baby shower. None of them knew I was pregnant, but I knew she was, and I went to the baby shower. So we're going to her baby shower, and I show up with my bump, and everybody's like, "Wait a minute,
you would have irritated me at my baby shower, and you gonna show up pregnant." Absolutely not.
Look, it just happened because we were.
I know you couldn't control it. And you had to go to the baby shower.
And when I showed up, they were looking at me like, "How dare you?"
That would have irritated me. That would have irritated me because that's like proposing at somebody's wedding.
Yeah, well, I couldn't get unpregnant to go to the shower.
No, you couldn't. But you could have told people in advance so that when you rolled up, it's not like
I hadn't told anybody. Yeah, I hadn't told anybody. But anyway, I emailed it to the baby daddy. So I emailed it to him just because the email was like, I'm that old. Email was like new and stuff, and so I emailed it and waited in the other room for him to have you. Did you check your email? No, I was like, I think you probably need to check your email. And then I got real quiet because in the room where the computer was, because this is pre-laptop, y'all. The chair,
big, huge box computer.
The chair had wheels on it. So I listened to him roll up to the desk. I listened to him log in. I waited for him. And then this was when it would, you would hear the thing, waiting for the dial up. And I waited long enough. I knew he read it. I heard the chair roll back, and then I heard the chair roll back. Like I heard the chair just keep I could visualize in my head because I couldn't see him. And then it was a whole. Are you serious? Like it was all that. I had fun. I had fun with that one.
Yeah, I think I'll have fun in the future with that too. Because I love doing little surprises like. Life update, boom, you didn't know about it, boom.
When good news, it's fun.
Even when I started the podcast, I did not tell, I only told 4 people.
Yeah.
And then everybody else found out when we unveiled the first episode, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody either that we were doing it until
I was
after
like,
the first episode.
"Surprise,
so
guys."
this is what y'all need to know about us. We can keep a secret.
Real good, real good.
secret.
Now there's gonna be certain people that know.
Yeah.
Like for instance, for and tomorrow, I'm probably gonna sell.
Yeah,
They're probably gonna know because I can't keep nothing from them. But everybody else, you never know what's going on with us.
honey,
You never know.
I could be crowned Queen of Egypt and y'all won't know until.
Or if I win the lottery,
yeah. Oh, they
if
definitely
I
won't
win the
know
lottery,
that until the final link has been put in the fence around my main.
no, I think if I win the lottery, I'm only gonna tell like you go to Tallahassee, get the money, and then everybody else will find out. Or actually, I won't even tell anybody. I'll just be like, what? How do I wire something to your bank?
Yeah, well,
Let me give you a
throw
gift.
a party and have everybody come and give them the address, and they think that they're going to some random place, and no, it's my new house. This is my new place, y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Anyway.
keep it tight.
We really went way off from the original subject.
People enjoy hearing us talk.
Moral of
so-
the story is, if it's good news, you can surprise it and spring it on
Yeah.
us. If it's bad news, don't do that.
And nobody ever tell me that I'm living in a murder house. If I happen to live in a murder house, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
No, I don't know what happened on the land where my house stands, but I know it's not a murder house because we built the house from the
I
ground.
don't
So
know.
like nobody got murdered in that house.
Yeah, that house is built.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
was the first people. Well, not me, but y'all was the first people to breathe in that
Nobody
house.
got murdered in the house. Now I don't know what happened on the land. I don't know what happened to the ancestors that may have trekked through there. But no, it's not a murder house. I know that for sure.
Well, on to them not gems now. Now we talked about murder houses and everything else, and having babies and all of that jibber jabber. Would you like to go first?
Well, I don't know. Maybe yours should be first.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
As a curly girl, I love going to get my hair done because I hate doing it myself, even though I'm probably going to have to do it myself after this podcast, unfortunately. But if you want an easier way, like it's summertime now, a lot of times during the summer I'll get braids just because it's super easy and you can like go in the water and do a whole bunch of stuff without your hair getting all matted and tangled. But you don't want to pay like the $300 that it's probably going to cost for you to get braids these days.
And in your case, maybe $5.
Yeah, I always overcharge because my hair is super thick. But something that you could do, depending on the stylist, is you could always go to your favorite hairstylist, get your hair washed, blow dried, get it parted,
Pre-parted.
but not get it braided. Because for me, I cannot part my own hair to save my life. It's so hard for me. Couldn't even get this middle part straight, really. But it's so difficult for me. But if somebody pre-parts my hair, I can easily do box braids and just, and you can sit in the comfort of your own home, have your food, have your Bridgerton on maybe, and just do your hair. And it saves you money and it saves you from having to sit in like the hair salon forever trying to get braids for like your vacation, just chilling, whatever.
Yeah. Well, to piggyback off that same concept, if you want to save yourself some hassle after you go to the salon, especially those of you that wear the silk presses and things like that where they wrap your hair, or even if you're doing
a blowout. Everybody can get a blowout.
or even if you're doing roller sets, because people are going back to roller sets some now. If you're like me, a lot of times I would go to the salon is near the end of the day, and I'm not going anywhere after like I'm
work
or you're getting your hair done, going to the salon for an event the next day. One of the things you might want to consider is, instead of having them style your hair, if you're just going home, especially if you got to wrap it or you got to do a roller set or whatever, let them just wrap it for you. Take your scarf, let them wrap it for you, tie it up while you're there. That way when you go home,
I have done that several times before vacations, before graduation, before my birthday.
Don't get it all styled if all you're gonna do is go home.
Because for me, it's hard for me to curl my hair and the curls stay, which I realized probably has a reason because I don't use hairspray like I'm supposed to. But I always have a hard time curling my hair. But at the salon, they're professionals. They can like curl your hair and put like pin curls in it, or they can put big rollers in it, and you can do a blowout look or whatever.
Yeah.
So
and if you got a real
convenient.
fly stylist, if you got somebody that you got a good relationship with, you can ask them to put it up, and then right before you go to the event, you can go in the next day and let them take it down. But like, don't pay for a style that you're just gonna go home and sleep on, is the bottom line. So like, if you know you're going home,
I used to do that way too much.
Let them wrap it or let them do the roller set for you. Leave it in, and then when you're getting ready to actually go out, take it down. So that's my
even though silk press season might be coming to an end.
Yeah, because it's hot.
Because
when I want to go with your little natural curl
when I
pattern.
went to Miami in June and my hair was straight, it was not straight when I left because it was super hot.
Anyway.
So,
but things to consider.
If it's your birthday, like my birthday's coming up, yay. But I hope y'all have enjoyed this episode.
We've rambled a lot, but hopefully you enjoyed it.
Yeah, hopefully it was still very entertaining. But don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Period.